Hey guys, this is Ayushi from Mystical Healing. This video is all about how to make these bracelets for your tumblestones and crystals. For this you will need a spool of thread. I'm using this crochet thread, a pair of scissors, a lighter, your choice of stone, and a button. So to start off, we will take 4 strands of thread, all of them measuring about 6 to 7 feet. Now we will make a knot in the middle of them, right here, and that will leave us with 4 strands on each side. Now we'll start the process of making the closure for the button. Now we will start with making box knots, which are basically made like this, with one strand on top, the other looping around the bottom and coming out through this, and just pull it tight. The other one will be made exactly opposite, and we'll keep repeating this. After we make about 6 to 8 square knots on either side of the original knot, basically once it's big enough to fit the button, we'll take this and make a knot right where the square knots end, and we will continue to braid the rest of the cord. Now we will make square knots all throughout the length of our cord until we reach halfway through the length we want our bracelet to be. And again, we will make these on opposite sides every single time. So if I'm making this with the right side on top the first time, then the second time it'll be made with the left side on top. This can be a little tricky to begin with, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that difficult. After we've braided it down to halfway through the length of our bracelet, we will now make the net part for the crystal. We'll take 2 strands at a time and make small knots on them. Once we're done with the first row, we will take 2 strands from one strand from each of the knots and start making another row of knots. We will continue this till it's big enough to hold the crystal. Once you think you've reached a decent enough length, just pop the crystal in and check if it fits, and if there are any adjustments that need to be made. I think that is big enough, and I will continue making square knots throughout the rest of the bracelet, and I'll be back when I'm done making the knots. So what I've done here is that once I reach the end of the bracelet, that it's big enough for my wrist, I've just cut off 4 threads, so I'm left with just 4. And the rest I have taken and burnt like this to make sure that they don't fray. Now what we'll do is we'll take these 4 strands and put them through this button one by one and make sure that it is secure. Now if the thread hasn't been burned properly, this can be very tricky. So it's best to smoothen it out when it's still warm. However, be sure to be very careful with the open flame and the fact that the thread can get really hot. If you are under the age of 18, please take adult supervision. Once this is done, you can simply tie a knot. Cut it and then again burn the ends. And there we go, we have our bracelet ready. This can be made from any size, it can be made for any size of crystal. This is very versatile. You can make this as an anklet, as with a ring and everything. I will link videos in the description that this is inspired by. And thank you for watching.